Hi, and welcome to 2-Minute Tips for Autism. I am really excited. I have one of my favorite people here, Scott Smith. He is a physician assistant, and I'm just so happy that you took the time to come talk with us.
It's great to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know why you're so passionate about what you do, but I don't think a lot of people out there still know why you're so passionate and you really get into really helping so many families. Can you give us a little background on why?
Absolutely. So as you know, our family is really close to autism as well, and it kind of brings you in. And autism is an area of medicine that's really undertreated, and I don't think that traditional medicine offers you the hope and support that people like myself or other providers can do. There's a lot of things that we can do to improve the quality of life and reduce the symptomatology in autism, and I think every kid deserves that.
And I think as a parent, I mean, you look at what you guys are all doing for us, and we need more people like you. So thank you for going out there and helping us. Now, one of the things we want to talk about, because we were talking before, and you get this question all the time, and I think this is a great opportunity to let those out there understand really the difference between PANS, PANDAS, and all the other letters in between.
Sure. So PANDAS was a diagnosis that came from NIH, from Dr. Sue Sweeto and her group in the late 1990s. It's a pediatric acute neuroimmune dysfunction after streptococcal infection. So you would see an increase in anxiety, OCD, with some other neurologic features that had a temporal relationship to streptococcal infection. If you actually go a little further back into the history, though, in the very early 1990s and late 1980s, they found at NIH that there was a set of kids that were having infection-triggered OCD type behaviors, and they labeled that PITAN. And PITAN was kind of pushed to the backside, and they decided to focus mainly on the streptococcus because they thought there was a model out there already using Sydenham chorea. So the original research showed that mycoplasma pneumonia, influenza, Epstein-Barr virus, kids are being triggered by all these different infections. It wasn't just strep. More recently, in the last couple of years, there's been a real push to change it to a diagnostic category called PANS, Pediatric Acute Neuroimmune Dysfunction. Pediatric Acute Neuroleptic Syndrome. And this takes away the etiologic criteria for strep to be your causative agent and opens it up to a large number of potential pathogens. So if you were to follow the history, PANS would be now the umbrella diagnosis, and PANS, if it's triggered by infection, would be that PITAN, and then if the PITAN is triggered by strep, it drops you down into PANDAS, which is a subcategory, not the overall diagnostic category.
And are they looking for symptoms, or is there testing?
Well, there's no diagnostic test for PANDAS in and of itself. PANDAS and PANS is a clinical diagnosis, and some of the new literature in the last month, so this is really fresh, has a list of things that you want to rule out, depending on each kid, what you find in the physical exam and the family history, before you would make the diagnosis of PANDAS or PANS, because there is no diagnostic test for it. So you want to make sure you're not missing something else like Wilson's disease, which is a mishandling of copper, lupus cerebritis. These are things that can also have symptoms that would mimic PANDAS or PANS. So you want to rule those out first. If you go through all of your workup with no other plausible explanation, then you would fit under that PANS category.
But it's definitely treatable.
It's manageable, yes.
Manageable.
It triggers an autoimmune type reaction. So as is the case with all autoimmunity, so it's something that you can manage, and some people do better than others. If you find the actual trigger, you'll have much more success. The one problem that I have with PANS right now is that it's so wide, sometimes it's hard to find that one needle in the haystack. It was much easier when we were only trying to rule out one etiologic cause. Now it's a kind of open.
You have to become a very, very good detective, it sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like Dr. House some days. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time in your busy schedule to come and talk with us. If people want to know more or they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? Sure,
yeah. I'm now located back in Florida. I have a practice called the Central Florida Functional Medicine. Our website is www.centralfloridafunctionalmedicine.com. We're located in Melbourne, Florida, and love to talk to anyone who has questions about this.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you guys for watching 2-Minute Tips for Autism. Until next time. Bye.